Good evening, folks. HeirofCarthage here, and welcome back to Total War 3 Kingdoms, the newest release from Creative Assembly in the Total War franchise. If you haven't seen it yet, then you're crazy, because Total War's been showing it off for a couple of months, and now everybody's uploading it. But I wanted to give you guys an update from the He Tai campaign. Unfortunately, He Tai has died. He was a healer, but he couldn't heal himself. It's kind of like the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. He Tai was a Sith Lord, and He-Man was his lieutenant. Does that mean Thanos was gonna be? Oh man! All right, we're getting out there now. Okay. Hopefully, y'all think it's fun. Let me show you the map of China. What's going on right now? The Kingdom of Shuhan thinks that they are the emperor. My old ally, which was Gongdu, has now swapped over to. There was a faction, Xianghu, or however you say it, Xianghu, I think. Gongdu had a, what do you call it, secession. So Gongdu died, and now this is his new, his new successor. Jeez, man, I'm getting tongue-tied on that stuff. The diplomacy in this game is crazy. You just never know what's going to come next. And it's been one of the most interesting playthroughs. Again, this is on a normal difficulty. And I've struggled a few times. I'm not struggling as much right now, but I have struggled a few times to stay alive in this campaign. Unfortunately, the AI in Total War has always been so dumb that it's been something I've been able to overcome. I do have a small regional city siege, which I might show you all a siege. I don't know if I've showed one yet, so I'll show it. Yeah, let me show you the different armies we got out here. Here is, this is He-Man. He's actually leading the army. And then this is my faction leader right here, He Tai. Sorry, I have He-Man leading the army because he is He-Man. He's master of the universe, right? Maybe I should have my faction leader leading it. One of our other generals died, so I had to put this this bloke in here, this new guy. It's Kiao Wu, I think, if I'm saying that right, which I'm probably not. I'm probably not saying any of this right, so I don't know why I say if I'm saying it right. A couple of interesting things I want to point out as the game progresses. At first, my population was really good. Now it actually shows it like in the red and stuff. Even though I have a lot of people here, it must be some kind of comparative thing with the population, because I know this Imperial City, for instance, has a ton of people in it down here, and it's bright green. Mine have more people than the early game when they were green, but now they're red, so it must be some kind of comparative thing that it's showing. And here's the interesting, it's going to be like this difficult trade-off. You can always upgrade your town center to increase your population limit, but when you do that, it takes a whole lot more food. So for instance, they were going to eat up 8 more food. Now I have a lot of food right now. You just got to be careful. You got to be careful. It's been really, actually kind of fun to take care of public order. I find the buildings to make quite a bit of sense, and you have a lot of different options. You don't just have to use the same boring old options all over again. So I've found it to be quite good, to be honest. Having a lot of fun with the building chains and kind of how the buildings work. I mean, it may be something I decide I don't like later, but for now, it seems to be good. So like, for instance, Yuzhang here, I can go down this temple line. I can build what I just built here with the wine vendor. We've got all kinds of options. Income is good, and I've been able to have quite a few forces on the map. I'm able to make use of the Yellow Turban captain system here. And what's fun with this is you can just use it to muster up a whole bunch of troops really quickly. When you call in a new general, you can hit recruit, and then instead of picking a general, you just pick a captain, and then their whole retinue pops in there. And because the Yellow Turbans muster so quickly, you can get kind of a cheap peasant army stood up very quickly to help protect your lands. It's a very useful system, and I suggest that you save a lot in your treasury in case you need to do just that as you're, playing the Yellow Turbans. It's kind of a tip I would say that I would give you as playing the Yellow Turbans. One of the other fun things that I've been enjoying quite a bit, and I want to pop this in here, because some people probably swear that all I've said is negative things about this game, and that's not true. I'm enjoying it, and so I'm trying to convey some of that to you. What are some of the things I've enjoyed? I really like the system of equipment. So for instance, He-Man now has this exceptional Imperial bow, so he's doing a lot of damage. We've been able to get him a red stallion, and then my faction leader, I think, has an even sweeter, or he did. It was this one right here, Heavenly Fire. So see, we can equip that to our faction heir. So I've actually really liked all of this different stuff that you can throw on your different leaders and all the different benefits you get from it. It's really cool. Definitely cool. And the AI loves paying for these things, so you can trade them pointless crap. Look at this guerrilla deployment. Don't mind if I do. See, there's just always something fun in there. You got a lot of fun stuff. You can use followers to enable certain formations like loose and shield walls and hollow circles and squares, all kinds of cool stuff. So definitely like the follower and the level up system. I think this level up system could be a little more in depth, kind of like it is in Warhammer. This isn't bad though. I wouldn't necessarily complain about it, but it would be cool since you do get so invested in these characters that maybe it's a little less generic and levels up a little faster than this one does, because it feels like I don't get to add skill points as much as I'd be liking to. But yeah, anyway, I've managed to expand. Let's show you the ownership again. One of the challenges with Heir and the Yellow Turban start, it says it's hard. It's not necessarily hard because you can muster up so many troops so fast. The difficulty is that you're surrounded and everybody wants to fight you. I'm almost ascended all the way up to enlightened, so this means that I now have a whole lot more diplomatic options, and the diplomacy has started to become really handy, even for the Yellow Turbans. At first, the diplomacy just probably infuriated me, and there's still some things about it that does, but it's kind of starting to come into play now. One thing I still haven't played with is spies. I haven't felt the need to. I will investigate it further, because it could also be really handy. I haven't really played with spies yet, so definitely something that I want to get into, but just haven't had to do yet. I might use He Tai here and go ahead and attack this settlement, and I'll continue to do some talking. Siege battles have not been my favorite. We still have some sapping points, actually. I do love that they have a demand surrender here, and sometimes that works, and that's very nice to have in certain situations, because if the AI knows it's pointless and they accept it, you don't take losses. Very, very handy.
Shot Fury!
Anyway, let's just keep going. I want to keep some extra money in my treasury in case of certain situations. I need to start upgrading some of my cities and just go ahead and take the food hit so that we can get the population growth. We don't want to get left too far behind from a population standpoint. Of course, turn-ins are a lot faster on here because it's not Mortal Empires with so many factions, but I find the turn-ins to be quick. Vengeful versus pacifist. One of your generals is incensed by another slight, demanding bloody total vengeance as justice. Burn their homes, crush their lives. A friend tries to calm him. It is vengeance that has led China to this point. He suggests that a calmer heads must prevail. So I can pick vengeance or peace. It requires that you do not have the pacifist trait. Well, we definitely have to pick peace. I mean, right? We're the Yellow Turbans, so we'll make peace, and this is going to build the relationship between He Tai and Xing Han. Hun Han. I don't know how to say that. Attila the Hun. Okay, I know. It's not. Let's pick one of my cities and upgrade it. Chen is my main settlement, and they're all the way up to a 3 million population cap. Yikes. Let's go ahead and upgrade it to the regional city. Right now it's a small regional city. Let's just do it with this one because it takes a lot of moolah, a lot of cashola. I'm not at war with anybody else, but my next plan is to hit Kong Rong, and it's taken me a little while, but again I'm starting to get to where I can read the diplomacy screen a little better. We can select Kong Rong. I can immediately see this little vassal symbol here, so these two factions are rolling up to him as a vassal, and it shows their attitude towards him. So just kind of helping you all read that screen. Here's everybody that he's at war with. He's at war with the Kingdom of Yan, which is actually an ally of mine in a coalition. The Duchy of Song, which I could care less about. The Kingdom of Wu, which I hate. And the Yellow Turban Rebellion, which, why don't they just join me? Anyway, he has a couple of vassals as well, which are these small factions here. You can see this one and this one up here to his north. So Kong Rong doesn't really have a lot of support or big friends in high places, which kind of makes him an obvious target because I don't really want to fight the Kingdom of Shuhan yet. I do want to fight them, but not yet. I'm trying to get some more of this territory that puts my back against a wall somewhere because it is so difficult to try and defend all these borders when you're just pinned in between multiple enemies. So I'm using the temporary peace, and I've been real nice to the Kingdom of Shuhan to try and get them to leave me alone. Okay? So I'm kind of playing the cards here, and I need to work my way towards the coast. If I had this campaign to do over again, I might just try and push towards the coast early, even if it meant I lost my original lands, but to go gain a place where I can fight with my back to the wall. It looks like the Yellow Turban Rebellion wishes to fight me here. Brave, but foolish. Let's play a battle. Anyway, so yeah, I'm enjoying the campaign. I think I was pretty frustrated with it. But as I went and played more campaign with Liu Bei, I realized the differences between kind of the standard campaign and the Yellow Turban. I'm not going to say that there aren't frustrating points, because there are, but it put it into perspective for me. And so, again, that's exactly why I said I needed to play that Liu Bei campaign the other day. And I had a few people that were upset at me because I was supposedly trashing the game, and that's just not true. I wasn't trashing the game. I was saying what I had played that day felt frustrating, and there was definitely some frustrating things that I still disagree with, the way that they happen. There's still some frustrating things that I don't like. However, I've learned some things that I didn't know, and really kind of, you know, enjoying it right now, even though there's pieces of it that are really challenging. Do y'all see what I did there? If you just grab units and then select them, you see that, how it put the 2 spears on this side and the 2 venerable Wu here? Let's say there's a certain way I want to select them. I'll give you a little tip here, okay? So if you hold down the control key, so I've unselected everything. If I want the unit that's on my left flank, I'm going to start with it. So I'm going to hold the control key, left click the first unit, second, third, or here, hold on, I already did it wrong. So I want spear, venerable Wu, Turban Warriors, Turban Warriors, Turban Warriors, right? That's my middle. Now I'm moving towards my right flank, Venerable Wu, Spear. See, if you click them in that order and then right-click and drag without deselecting, there they are. Boom. Then you can push Control-G and put them in a hard group, unless you've changed your group settings. This is just something that I like to do. Now, what I've also been doing with my crossbows, now, first of all, some of you may wonder, you always see me using crossbows. Why am I using crossbows? They're just better than archers in almost every way. Archers have flaming arrows, which I believe can deal some extra damage or morale damage, and they can also burn down towers. So that is a big deal. In siege battles, you'll definitely want to have some archers, but I haven't been too worried about it. Crossbows deal a ton of damage. They have a very good fire rate, and they also do armor-piercing damage pretty heavily, so that's why I've been using them. I was able to get a follower that allows me to, well, I thought it must be a different army where I can put them in loose formation, so that's my bad. I can't put them in loose formation, but I do like to keep them in guard mode. I had loose formation. I may have accidentally removed it when I was switching a follower a minute ago, actually. That's probably what I did. So yeah, I probably should put loose formation back on. I like using these white wave lancers. I haven't had any, you know, perfect cavalry per se with the turbans. I'm gonna put, okay, yeah, this is my secondary army. This is not the army with He-Man. I was just checking out my different characters here. This dude has a bow, so I'm gonna stick him up front. They can do some good damage. So I've got them grouped. I'll just put all my cavalry into a group, all my crossbows into a group, and somehow I missed my spearmen when I did this group. Oh, I had a couple of extra spearmen, that's why. Let's just put them back as reinforcements. My bad. Missed some of my unit cards in that last retinue. Alright, got all my units grouped, and obviously grouping, you can use those numbers that are up there at the top, so again, just a tip for newer players. I can quickly select units, and then if I want to move the whole army, see how I can select them all? And then I can hold down Alt, and then left click and drag, and then you can switch over to Control, you can rotate. So again, good tips for newer players if you need to know ways to move your troops better. You can also hold down the Shift and then right click and draw a waypoint path, and you see your character will follow a path of any choosing. Maybe I want my character to look like he's drunk. There you go, Serpentine. Dodge the arrows, right? So anyway, you can also right-click select, or just select all, and then you can right-click drag. That's a new feature they've added in this game, and it works pretty decent. Just remember that if you click an attack order after that, that it doesn't actually give your units individual targets. It's just a blob attack still. You have to hit Control-G or toggle the locked groups always engaged. I'm gonna take all these units and just start running my reinforcements forward. Let's hit play. We're about to be attacked. I'm gonna get my crossbows at the ready. Want my leader to pop up here too. He's got his bow. I don't feel like duels right now. I'm not familiar with these characters, and I don't want to get mine killed. The AI is just trying to get an easy way out here. I had my crossbows off fire at will because I'm going to select their targets, which is going to be their archers. So there's the peasant archers. I'm going to target them down. I am going to go ahead and lead with my my leaders here. Take them charging into battle, and then follow up with my hard-locked infantry here. Move the white wave lancers up, and then we'll get them ready to do some outflanking. Look how quickly crossbows can... I need to just put that on auto decline, probably.
You are too pathetic to survive.
And then I can just choose when I want to duel.
Waste your breath. You will need it.
I'm gonna wait till the melee begins to use that particular ability, and then same thing with the healing.
The enemy unit flees. What coward!
Alright, I'm now gonna give an attack order to my hard group. You can see that all my different units will get some orders.
Stand ready. Steel yourself.
Starting to get a little bit better at controlling
Double time.
battles en masse here. I'm gonna actually try and shoot that gap
Go
there.
on, keep up. I know you can
Now,
do it.
cavalry charges from behind are absolutely devastating,
With witty words.
and we're gonna use that to our advantage.
Stand ready.
There's some vulnerable infantry here.
Faster. Move.
Yeah, let's get you all some glorious rear charges here from the white wave lancers. These guys hit hard on the charge,
What coward!
and we should be able to put these guys to flight pretty quickly.
Swordsman ready.
See if we can get rid of those peasants there as well. Our crossbows require the next target, and that's going to be this one here. Let's pull our leader out of that fight. We still need to mop up the leadership from the enemy,
Prepare.
and we've got another leader coming in, so let's move him in.
The enemy
Yet
warriors
more
are
cavalry.
running. Ha!
I'm going to actually just kind of pull these troops up on the flank as quickly as I can.
Swords at the ready.
Crossbows have guard mode on, but you can see that there's still some glitchy stuff sometimes.
Swordsman.
Oh, we've got a blob back here. Let's keep our
Double time.
infantry engaged in it.
Do not relent. Kill them.
Come on, get in there.
Attend.
Trying hard to kill their leaders. Venerable Wu, the reason why I put him on the flank earlier, by the way, is they have a scare ability. Stop trying to duel me. Win the fight or don't win it. Let's take these white wave lancers forward.
Warriors are running.
Ha! Mounted soldiers.
Let's see, where all is group 3 here? Let's get group 3 put back together. There's some Bringers of Righteousness back here, which are actually kind of a combo spear unit. So we don't want to deal with that. Let's actually send this Venerable Wu out here to deal with them. And then same thing here. Put our general into that fight. I've got more white wave lancers headed in.
Move, move. Attack.
Gotta keep an eye on your special abilities. There was my heal. Let's use some of that.
Time has come.
Swordsman ready.
Engage them, engage that spearman.
Fury.
March at the double.
Gonna wrap the spearman around here. Want to complete an encirclement if possible. These guys are still shooting me even while they're completely engaged.
Does battle wear you
Look for vulnerable units when preparing a rear charge. The sword units are particularly vulnerable. Really high level spears, they can stand up to some rear charges sometimes. They're not immune to it, but...
Destroy them.
And then never ever ever charge glaive infantry head on while they're braced, because your units will get deleted by the charge reflection. So just a little bit of advice there, if I can give you advice. See my cavalry now. We've got these guys completely pinched in a sea of yellow banners here. You can see the turban banners there, the triangular ones though. Their troops are holding on quite admirably.
Prepare. Strike.
Okay, let's get some of our Yellow Turban warriors. We've engaged these guys. We got a lot of archers there that are engaging. Let's bring some more swordsmen forward out of our reinforcements. Cleaned up that archer unit. Let's go slam into the back of those Bringers of Righteousness. You can see that's a pretty tough unit. Let's help out back here.
Enemy warriors are running.
crossbows got attacked and I wasn't paying attention. Imagine that, air not paying attention. That never happens, folks. Get group 1 over here and start busting up these people's warband. Check all our leadership abilities again. Always want to make sure you're using those. Some of them need to be used at key times too, so you gotta, just keep an eye on the timing. Alright, we got rid of those guys back there. Enemy leaders are like little Johnny lives a lot in this battle, but we've flipped it. We have defeated the Yellow Turban Rebellion, which held this province. These Bringers of Righteousness, a really cool bow unit. I might need to invest in some of these guys, especially for a siege battle. Nice dual-use unit. They held out really well against these swordsmen, these Yellow Turban warriors. Pretty impressed by their performance. Anyway, we got ourselves a pretty major victory there. This is going to add another city to my commanderies. I'd rather it be more and more farms, so I can just keep upgrading my cities, but I'll take what I can get. The infantry in this army is not particularly great. I have to watch out if I end up against armies with elite infantry. If you can't surrender, die. Let's see what this is all about. It says, if you can't surrender, die. Playing as any faction, kill 92,413 enemies. That is a very specific number, which I'm assuming is tied to some kind of battle or history or something like that. I have a general we could actually pick up here, but he's direct and vengeful. And he's, let's see, I'm just going to execute him. I don't need him here.
Unfortunate consequence of war.
And let's just replenish quickly, so we can be ready to march on Kongrong. Alright, the Duchy of Song signed a peace treaty. Kongrong requested that his vassal declare war. Let's see, we have War Fervor, which is extra supplies, but we lose population. Actually, losing a little bit of population might actually be kind of good right now, but I don't really need the supplies. Whatever. So we can now capture the city very easily. Delegate this off. Remember, when you're winning battles, you always want to win it decisively if possible, because sometimes characters get mad if you take them into a battle. Ooh, we got an ancillary out of that too. Let's go check that out. And we got a character. He's a tier 4, competitive, vengeful. Yeah, I'm not digging it.
A clean end is preferable.
Take no prisoners. Sweet. I got another achievement here. It says take no prisoners. Playing as any faction, execute 24 captives. Well, you all know how I've been treating my captives. Solitary. Yeah, this guy has got traits that I really don't like. Vain. He's got terrible stuff, so I'm gonna put him to the sword. Aid the request. I mean, I hate to put down fellow turbans, but hey, if you can't get with the program, it's just how it's gonna be. Alright, so again, we don't have any other wars. Kongrong is looking like my next victim. If y'all like seeing this, I know it's not like a traditional playthrough of a campaign. I've just been trying to bring you all spotlights from time to time on what's going on. That way you don't have to watch the whole story, but this is a long ways in. This is 178 turns in to a campaign. You can kind of see what I'm dealing with there. We just consolidated another city into our commanderies, and my next goal is to hit Kongrong, and then his allies. This is one of them right here. I want this land. It's still kind of wrapped up, but the Kingdom of Yan is at least my ally. See, they're up here as well. So having an ally like that, that again is kind of the equivalent of putting my back against the wall, right? So until they decide to turn on me. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this look into the campaign this far in. Hey, get in the comments. What do you want to see next? Tell me what you want to see in the game. Are there scenarios you want to see? Do you want some tips? I tried to give you a few tips here. If you do want tips, what kind of tips do you need in the video? What kind of factions do you want to see? Do you just give me some feedback. I would love to see it. If you enjoyed the video, do me a huge favor. Go hit that like button. Helps me a lot. And then also make sure you subscribe and click the bell so you'll know when the next content is up. Also, I'm going to have a schedule out soon. I'll make a video to talk about my weekly schedule. I'm going to get things back on track with a weekly schedule of videos so you know what to expect on what day, and hopefully that makes you all happy too, so that if there's a certain video you want to see, you'll know when it is coming next. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon.